Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something super important. The top 5 SEO mistakes you need to avoid in 2024 and going into 2025. Are you unintentionally sabotaging your rankings and website? It happens more often than you think. Sometimes people hear a recommendation from someone like me and try to implement it based on a snippet of information. And then when it doesn't work, they end up having to hire someone like me again to help them fix it. And when that happens, that's not your fault. SEO is complex, and there isn't one strategy that works for every site. In fact, there isn't even one strategy that works for every business in the same market, in the same industry. There are so many variables that come into play, and when you're not aware of them, things can easily go off track. So let's dive into the top 5 SEO mistakes of 2024 and to prevent going into 2025. And if you stick around until the end, I've got a bonus website mistake you don't want to miss. There is such a thing as too much content. For example, a vet doesn't need a blog post about every dog breed. A salon doesn't need an article on the history of hair dye. Adding content that's only tangentially related to your core services can actually hurt your rankings for those same core services. If only 5% of your site's pages talk about the services you actually provide, how would a person or a search engine know that your intent isn't just to be informational?
Here's how to tell if your website has too much or too little content. What you'll want to do is search for your top terms that you would like to rank for and find out who's ranking for those terms most often. And then you want to compare your page to theirs. Now, the length of your content in itself is not a ranking factor, but the quality of the information available and the explanation of the services and how you work with your customers can not only impact your rankings, but it also can impact your conversions, because the more people learn about your business, the more likely they are to trust you. So if we were longviewlawncare.com and this was our Marietta page, this is the entire page, and we saw that Grounds Guys was outranking us, you can see that Ground Guys has put a lot of more content on their website. So that's a sign that we have too little content. If we consistently saw that the websites that were outranking us had significantly more content. And the reverse works too. So if your website has a ton of content here, let's say there was a lot more content here, but it was about the city of Marietta, and your competitor has the same amount of content or less, and they're beating you, but all of their content is specifically about their services, it could be that you have too little relevant content and too much irrelevant content that's focused on the location more than the services you provide and why someone should choose you.
Barely relevant content outperforms your revenue generating pages. Blogs bring in tons of traffic, but there are nearly no conversions related to it. Google Search Console and other tools show that you primarily rank for keywords that don't lead to revenue. If this sounds like your site, it's time to take a closer look at your content strategy. Review your pages and ask, does this page get any traffic? Does this page get any conversions? Could this page be re-optimized to perform better? Does this page potentially take away from the purpose of my site? Oh, and a bonus reason to avoid irrelevant content, it takes up your crawl budget. Now, on the flip side, we've got too little content. I know, classic SEO move, right? Going from one extreme to the other, but it's true. Just like too much of the wrong content can hurt, too little of the right content can do the same. Too little content looks like a key page with just a paragraph or less. Important pages on your site, like location pages, service pages, or product pages, should provide all the information a visitor needs to make a decision. You can fix this by having a page for each key service, location, or product, doing keyword research to find out what topics you're missing, reviewing winning competitor sites to see what pages they have in their main navigation that you might be missing. And make sure your key pages answer these questions. What do you offer? Where do you provide services? Who are you? Why should they trust you? And how can they buy from you or work with you? Oh, here's one I see all the time. Poor internal linking. If I had a penny for every time I've seen a blog post that doesn't link to any relevant page on the website at all, I wouldn't need to make YouTube videos. Everyone knows about backlinks, but internal links, they're often forgotten. Internal links help search engines understand the structure of your site and the importance of your pages. When you don't link to key pages, you're essentially telling search engines that those pages aren't that important. Here's how to fix it. Any page that's important for organic revenue should have other pages linking to it. Bonus tip. If you're not sure how many links you have going to key pages, you can crawl your site with tools like Sitebulb or Screaming Frog to find out.
This site is a great example of poor internal linking. They do so many things right as far as how they think about producing content that is locally relevant, but then they're not taking full advantage of it with their internal linking strategy. So all of their internal links are at the very bottom of the page, and they're essentially trying to rank for the same keyword, but all three of these are linking to different pages. It's important to have a clear internal linking strategy that with a clear understanding of where you want to lead search engines and visitors. Mosquitoes goes to a different page than Mosquito Control Company, and Mosquito Control Company goes to a different page than Mosquito Control. This could be fixed by just making this Florida Mosquito Control Company, because this page links to Florida locations. And this would be a great one. Well, actually, I would link both of these to the Florida Mosquito Control page. Not like linking this to a location page really doesn't do anything other than create some confusion. Since there's already an actual Florida Mosquito Control page, we should be linking to that, and we should be linking to it higher on the page. We also should be likely adding some type of call to action on this page. This is another internal link to that page so that they can learn more information, because if someone lands on this page, we know that they're in our target demographic for services.
Next up is a biggie, missing the basics. You'd be shocked at how many sites I come across where the page titles and heading tags are non-descriptive. Heading tags and page titles do matter. Your dream keywords should be the prominent terms in your page titles and descriptions. If you want to rank in a specific city, include that city in your H1 tag and page title. This is one of the easiest things to fix. Just take the keywords you want to rank for and make sure they're reflected in your titles and headings. You don't want to keyword stuff either, so make sure you only include one or two variations in each. Lastly, let's talk about my favorite one, confusing site structure. Users need to be able to easily navigate your site, and so do search engines. But I've seen so many websites with chaotic structures, missing key pages in the main navigation, no breadcrumbs, inconsistent URL structures, and on and on and on.
Here's an example of missing the basics. If we go and look here, we see garage door repair, but we don't see the city mentioned in the title. Cities are mentioned in the description, but the description doesn't actually impact your rankings. Well, your title does. So it's important to mention at least one of these key cities here. You can also see on this page that this is a page specifically about overhead door repair. Notice that it doesn't mention overhead door repair in this keyword at all. And on this page, they actually mention specific brands that they serve. That could be either mentioned in their H1 heading tag and H2 tags, or it could be mentioned in the page title, and that would help their rankings. As you can see here, there's not a lot of optimization done, and the basics are missing on this page, which is not helping it rank. It could perform better by just adding in city names, adding in more clear keywords, and understanding which keywords are going to be the most important for them to perform well in their markets.
To fix this, you need to plan your site structure carefully. Make sure key pages are easy to find in the main navigation. Categorize your pages logically and use consistent URL structures. And as promised, here's your bonus mistake. Ignoring call to action placement. The most common mistake I see on websites that are supposed to generate revenue is poor call to action and conversion feature placement. Users shouldn't have to scroll to find your phone number, buy button, or contact form. Make it as easy as possible for them to interact with you. Sometimes optimizing your site for your current traffic is more beneficial than focusing on new traffic.
This slide illustrates issues with information architecture and site planning. So Charlotte Exterminator versus Pest Control Holly Springs versus Pest Control Memphis, Tennessee. These are all location pages on the same website, but they all have very different structures. It makes it very difficult for you to go back and look at data to understand how behaviors or rankings and visibility have changed on your location pages or for specific locations. Even within these individual locations, the pages are set up differently. So we'll see here. So this is off of the root domain. It's not under the Charlotte subfolder that was already created for Exterminator Charlotte or Charlotte Exterminator. This is a completely different page that is essentially unrelated. These pages could be made related to each other by putting this under this location page, so that it's easier for people to go back to the main Charlotte page and understand the structure of the website. This is an issue across all of their locations, and these other locations have these issues too. It would just make it so much easier and cleaner if there was a clear URL structure to allow search engines and users to easily navigate through the website without potentially getting lost or ending up somewhere where they really didn't intend to be in the first place. Breadcrumbs would also help with that. Breadcrumbs usually are a trace of where this page belongs. So if this had a location subfolder here, your breadcrumb would be home, location, and then Holly Springs. So that helps someone get back to the locations page if Holly Springs isn't the location they wanted and they wanted to see a list of all the locations. Information architecture is extremely crucial for providing a better user experience, and it can also have a significant impact on rankings and conversions.
If you're not sure about your call to actions and conversion opportunities, you can try A/B testing with a tool like Optimizely, or use a user behavior analytics tool like Microsoft Clarity. That's it for today's video on the top 5 SEO mistakes of 2024 and what to avoid in 2025. I hope this helps you avoid some of the most common pitfalls and get your website on track for better rankings and conversions. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.